How y'all doing? This is Philippe, the Learn to Grow guy. Today is the 6th of November, the day after the election, the day before my father's birthday. Anyway, I have a few things that I'm working on that I'd really like for you to take a look at, okay? And I'll just have to show you, okay? I'll just have to show you and explain things to you along the way. Okay. Okay, to start with, I have to show you some of the tools that I've been using, okay? This is a Ryobi Whisperer. It's a brushless um, blower of leaves. It's a leaf blower. That's what it is, okay? And this is the type of battery pack that goes along with these, all right? Give me a second. This here is the leaf mulcher that I've been using, okay? It's got a bag that comes with it. The bag attaches to the bottom of this here, and it really sucks. And this one really blows. Okay. All right. So why do I have these? It's very simple. The first tool I had bought was this here 12-inch Ryobi electric or battery powered um, chainsaw, and I needed to get a couple of these batteries. So since I invested in a couple of these batteries, the best thing that I figured that I could do is actually to keep investing in these, because otherwise, if I didn't do that, what that would mean is that what that would hold it. Okay. What that would mean is that I would have to buy a bunch of different batteries for a bunch of different tools. So if you're going to be buying anything that's going to be battery operated, my recommendation to you is to pick a brand. Pick whatever brand is affordable to you, whatever brand you're able to do that will allow you to do the variety of different type of works that you want to do, and stick with it. Okay, and that's what I've done. Um, that's not the brand that I use for power drills and things of that nature. But as far as stuff that I'm doing outside for yard work and things like that, Ryobi seems to be the brand that I'm using because, again, these batteries here, they're very expensive, okay? And since they're expensive, I'd rather buy one of one brand instead of buying something with three or four different chargers, three or four different batteries, because I've got three or four different brands of tools that I want to try to use out here. So the best thing to do is just pick one and stick with it, okay? I'm going to show you how quiet some of these tools are. Okay, what you've got is on top of the bed is the chainsaw, okay? The Ryobi chainsaw, okay? That is about as loud as it gets, okay? And here's the blower. It's got a turbo to it. Like I said, this stuff really blows, okay? And this one here is the leaf blower. Not the leaf blower, but the leaf mulcher, okay? I'm sorry about that. Okay, that's about as loud as these tools get. I'm not sure if you can. I'm not sure if you heard as how loud that they get, but that's pretty much it. What you heard, that's it. Unfortunately, I typically don't use earbuds when I'm using them. I highly recommend that everybody use tool buds for whatever you're doing that has that makes a lot of noise. My viewpoint is that I hate to use this phrase from childhood, but do as you're told, not as you see me do, or something along those lines. But I do have earbuds to use. Okay, I do have earbuds. It's just that sometimes, in the midst of trying to get things done, I figure since the tool is not too loud, so therefore I don't, I don't use them sometimes. Okay, but my viewpoint: select a brand. select the brand and go for it. Okay, it's easy to remove the batteries. It's not how you say rocket science. Um, like I said, I spend enough money on these batteries. These batteries are expensive. You can be paying anywhere from 98 bucks all the way to maybe even a couple $100 for each battery. Um, they work. They work quite well. I am not sponsored by Ryobi, okay? I do not get paid by Ryobi. I'm just sharing with you what I've been using, okay? Now, if a better brand does come along and I decide to invest a lot of money in other tools, then it is what it is at that time. That's something that I got to work with. I mean, it's just like now. I did buy a new tool, and I'm using it right now. It's the ring light. It's a small ring light in a stand. The light is not on at this point. It's daylight out. My viewpoint is that what's the use of it, okay? I tried using it yesterday, but yesterday I ended up dropping. I'm sorry, a breeze came by, blew my camera, blew the stand over, and it also cracked the screen of my phone. So that's where we're at. But let me go ahead and show you the other things that I'm working on, okay? So hold on. Okay, and we're walking and we're walking. I'm gonna take you to, you know what, I'll take you to the garden bed, okay? I've got two garden beds that I've been working on, and let me show you. It's these two garden beds. Let me adjust the camera some. Again, for me, this is all new stuff, and you know what, I may even, hold on. Okay, so that's the ring stand, and it's not giving me the flexibility that I'm looking for because I don't want the segments of this to interfere with the video. So anyway, what I've been doing yesterday is that I've been collecting leaves, using the equipment I just showed you, other than the chainsaw, to gather leaves, and it basically, the leaf shredder sort of shreds them a little bit. It doesn't give it a fine shredding, but nonetheless I don't have whole leaves in these, okay? And same with this bed. I got this bed partially open because I still have some stuff I need to pull out, like these tomato remnants that came up after I left a tomato in here. But basically what I'm looking at doing is I gotta fill this. I'm gonna fill this all the way up with these shredded leaves. That's about another 4 inches or so, varying like in this dip area here. If I level that out, that should be perfectly fine. Now, when you do this with your leaves that you can collect from wherever it is that you're gonna collect them from, whether from your yard or from the community, excuse me, what I do recommend is with your soil that you go ahead and put any amendments that you want to add to it at that time, okay? If you have bone meal, you have crushed and powdered eggshells. If you have calcium you want to put on there, if you have whatever type of nutrients that you figure that you want to add, bone meal or whatever type of nutrients you want to add to your soil, this is a good time to add it to it. You can just put it in and you can just mix it in like this. You don't have to do a deep dig into it, but nonetheless, put them in and just mix it in somewhat, and then you can put your layer of leaves over it. If you're using pots for your garden, okay, meaning that you grew your garden in pots, one of the things that you could do, and this is my philosophy, this is my concept, okay, as to where you can take the soil, dump it onto the ground where earthworms can actually have access to it. You can still mix in your nutrients and stuff like that, and cover it with the leaves. If you want, you can even get some plant-based food scraps before you put the leaves down. And the whole thing is that worms will come up from underground. It will make it through your soil that you used this year, for example, and they'll make it to the leaves, to the scraps, food scraps, plant-based food scraps that you've got there, and those worms should leave you some little deposits called worm castings. Okay, worm castings are very valuable because they're like they're how you say they're nutrients, they're food that your plants can actually use through bacteria and fungus and stuff like that, but that's a different story. But that's what we're looking at, and with this bed here, with these two beds, since the bottoms are on the ground itself, that worms can still come up from underneath and still get into these and work these out. This is also a good way to get some leaf mold, I think it's called. It's stuff that can help feed your plants and things of that nature. Okay, so I'm going to take you to another spot. This is my small greenhouse. It's been a mess all year, and I've not done too much with it, okay? I've not done too much in here. Now, I mentioned some of the nutrients, and this is something that we've been collecting for a while now. These are eggshells. I keep them in the greenhouse because even though outside it's probably about 60 degrees, you see that? It's almost 90 degrees in here, okay? Here's what I do with it, okay? Typically, I'll take them, okay? I'll transfer them to this. It's a, how you call that? It's a food processor with the little blade here. Typically, what I'll do is that I'll put this in here, do a little crushing with these shells, eggshells, and then I'll go ahead and turn them on and powder it out, okay? These are remnants of some of the powder. These are remnants of some of the eggshell powder. I don't have this plugged in, so I'm not going to be doing that today. Well, at this time. So, but that's what I would do. And typically what will happen is that I get the crushed powdered eggshells, and I would go ahead and put that on the plant beds, okay? I'm being lazy. I'm being lazy again. Do as you're being told, not as I do. Because what I'm going to do is that when I get off my lazy kick for the day, I'm going to take some of those shells and I'm going to sprinkle them over the leaf mold that I have, in the hopes that as the worms get to them, they get to the shells also and incorporate the calcium from the shells into the soil in the form of worm castings. What else do we have to do here that I can share with you? Okay, so hang on. Okay, I do have something to share with some of you, and here it is right here. And this is what I'm using. I have some serious vole and mole issues, okay? At the same time, I also have issues with some rabbits coming around, all right? And squirrels. I've got fruit trees around here, and if this can help keep them away, then I'd be very happy with that. Groundhogs, I don't have. I've seen a couple of armadillos on the property before, but and I'm not sure that I've seen gophers. I believe that those make big holes, okay? So, but otherwise, the moles and voles and rabbits are my problem that I have out here. And this is the product that I'm using here, Mole Max. In my using it out here for the short period of time that I've used it, I finally saw a mole. It was dead. Looks like it was driven over by somebody at night while this vole was out walking across the stone driveway. It's a little tiny thing, like a little mouse and such, but nonetheless, those things have done sufficient damage to some of my fruit trees, as where some of them died. So they suck, and right now that's what I'm using, and they seem to be fleeing the area, and I got to make sure that I put enough out. I think each application lasts 2 or 3 months. I just got to keep applying them every so often to keep them out, okay? Winter's coming. They're typically going to be looking for food underground over the winter, and once you apply the mix and it sits on top of the ground, and basically what happens is that as it rains, it waters it into the ground. You're supposed to do a application watering, but I have not done so because I don't have water sources all throughout the property to be able to water everything at this time. So that's where I'm at. I rely upon rain to get things watered, in the same way I typically will rely upon rain to water my gardens as well. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you down here, and basically this is a valley between the some of the property, between the property, and right here I have a ton of leaves. Okay, and what I'm about to do is I'm about to do a partial clearing of this pathway, and so that I can collect more leaves so I can cover the beds. Okay, this is a beautiful area. I actually enjoy it down here. My goal is to put a bridge over this little, well, it's dry now. It's a little creek that flows through here. My goal is to put a bridge over it. There may be a little pond on this side, a small pond. Nothing major, nothing deep or anything like that. Maybe 4 or 5 feet deep, maybe 6, 7 feet wide on either side, so that I can put some little, I don't know, maybe some goldfish or something there. But that's down the line. So anyway, that's what I'm looking at doing. Just hold on with me, bear with me, and I'll show you an example of what I'm doing. Okay, the goal is actually to blow some of these leaves together and to show you how the tools actually work. Okay, I like wearing gloves, you know, that way I keep my nice sensitive hands together, okay? So anyway, like I said, this thing has a turbo feature to it, but nonetheless the goal is to just blow the leaves so I can get a pile of them so I can vacuum them up with the leaf mulcher. It does not do well with sticks as far as sticks doesn't help work well with that. Besides, it won't suck it up anyway. Uh-oh. Sometimes it'll suck in more than it should. And I guess a little sound that you're hearing is a pimpin sucked up a stick. And every once in a while, if the front gets clogged, it's sucking too much leaves, and you just gotta let it go and start over. Okay, what I also like to do is that, as you can see the bag's getting full, you can see it with the weight of the machine on top of the bag. I typically like to crush the leaves that's inside so that it can do more. Shake it up a little bit and resume the process. Okay. As you can see, it actually does make a difference. What I'm going to do now is that I'm going to take the bag off, and then I'm going to take it back to the garden bed so that I can drop it off in the garden, okay? Bear with me. Okay, this is our bag that you saw me carrying, taken apart from the little valley over there. Nice greens, but not gonna use them. Okay, I'm not going to use any of this stuff, so I'm just going to cover everything. I'm just going to put the leaves on there, and then after that, I'm going to go ahead and, how you say, um, cover everything up. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, this has a little. The bag has a zipper. It has dual zippers. Okay, it has dual zippers. It's got two zippers to open up this flap, and after that, it's just a matter of getting the stuff out of there. But since the leaves are compacted, you gotta work some of the stuff to get it out. And the vacuum does suck. The mulcher does suck some of the sticks too. So just be aware of that, okay? If you remember, it made that funny sound when I was sucking up some of those, when it was sucking up and mulching some of those leaves. And that was because it sucked in a couple of sticks. Okay, now there is a downside to this particular bag that I think they could use some improvements upon, and that is the inside of the bag. They use a material that has some fibers on it. It's like, I guess, to soften it up. But I think if they use something that was slicker, something that how you say, something that would not cause the leaves to stick to it, because as you can see, with all the different edges and such on the inside, you have leaves that are actually sticking to the inside. Okay, and basically all you're going to do is just cover. You're just going to cover this up. Okay, you're going to cover your bed up to give it the covering that it needs. Remember, the goal is for worms and bacteria to form all up under here, so that comes the spring you're going to end up with soil that has worm castings in it, and whatever other nutrients you get from the bacteria or fungi that will grow in this. Okay, one of the other things you could do with these leaves is that you can pile them up and make a big mound of them. And when you make the mound, what you're going to do is that you can cover it with a tarp. And even then, if you want to sprinkle a few items on there, you can sprinkle a few items on there, like the calcium, the eggshells, calcium if you buy calcium, blood meal, alfalfa, pellets, whatever it is you want to put in there, you can still sprinkle some of that stuff on there, and you can cover it up. If you cover that mound of leaves up, it'll take about a year or so for everything to go ahead and get broken down, but then what you're going to end up with is a lot of good material that you can use for your potted plants, or you can use that compost to cover over your garden, as I'm doing now, but this is before everything breaks down. But in the spring, whatever is left on here that's not been broken down, it will be used as a mulch. It will be a mulch. I'm just going to separate with whatever's left, put my little seedlings within, and cover and bring the leaves back, the leaf remnants back around the seedling, so that in the spring things will be ready to go. So that's about all I have for you. I can't think of anything else. So these are the things I'm working on right now. When you have a homestead, okay, there's always stuff to do. Listen to me very carefully. There's always stuff to do. So you have to make sure that it's like a 24-hour-a-day job, okay? You have to make sure you take your time off. You got to make sure you get your drinks of water. You got to make sure you're eating your meals. You got to make sure that you're taking time away from your homestead to go do a little vacation here and there. Okay, and that is the reason why I technically don't have chickens, or for the eggs and for the chicken manure, because, or even a dog for that matter, as of now. But I am getting a dog fairly soon. But the reason for not having, and even cats even, okay, the reason that I don't have that as of yet is for the simple reason that once you go animal, it's difficult to leave your home. Once you go animal, it's difficult to leave your home, okay? And there are tremendous benefits with animals. There's further security, okay? There's mice control. There's mole and vole control. If your cats are going out and they're walking around the property, especially around your garden, dogs will keep them away as well. Predatory animals will keep them away. And chickens, You can set up automatic feeders for cats, dogs, and chickens, and automatic watering, and all that other good stuff. You can do that also, but nonetheless, for me, it's a bit restrictive. That means that I may have to get a babysitter to babysit pets or chickens. Okay. One last thing I wanted to show you was something that I did dig up yesterday, and I think you may have seen some of this already. Hang on for a sec. Okay, these are turmeric. Okay, turmeric typically have the broad leaves, and this is ginseng. Okay, these are some of the ones I dug up yesterday. This is some of the turmeric that I dug up yesterday. Okay, very pretty stuff. Unfortunately, I didn't plant a whole lot of them, but I do need to dig them up at this time because I'm going to be covering this bed. Hey, it looks like this one didn't do anything. Well, something may have eaten some of this, looks like, right there. Well, let's take a look and see. Don't see anything in this one. Uh-oh. Ah! I don't know if you can see them or not. See? Turmeric. Okay? And it's not turmeric, y'all. It's turmeric, okay? See, look at this. This soil here was made of wood chips that's like 7 years old or more, and there was still chunks in it, and it's also got mushroom compost mixed with it. Okay, that's what that is. And look, a chunk of charcoal. And if you're going to do biochar experiments, make sure you crush them as far down as possible so that they can have as much space to allow a lot of surface area so that other creatures, your bacterias, and all those other things can actually get into there and live in there. These will hold moisture too for the roots of your plants to get into so that they can do what they need to do as far as surviving or growing. So that, I think this might have been the original one, but turmeric! Yes, sir, it's turmeric. And this is the ginger side over here. See, that's fresh ginger. Okay. My viewpoint, plant as much stuff that you would classify as your type of meds that you want to plant. And enjoy everything, y'all. Enjoy everything. Enjoy. Enjoy all that which you do. Okay, I think that was the original one here, and these are the fresher stuff that was coming up and growing. So, but like I said, enjoy everything. I'm going to come back and pick these up later. Probably let them sit out here and dry up for a little bit, but I got to clean them up and get a chance to enjoy them and do what I got to do with them. So y'all, it's been a good day. It's a good day so far. It's still in the AM out here. And guys, enjoy. Take care.